Howdy everybody, I pray this video finds you blessed. So yay, here comes the second part. This piece was a bear to turn, and it wasn't because of the resin or the wood in a sense, it was because it was so out of balance the whole time. I just sharpened all the tools on my rack and had them ready. There's no rhyme or reason as to when or why or how I used each tool. It was just because it was sharp and ready to go. That's the honest truth. The wood, I didn't stabilize it. I don't have any way to stabilize wood, and I really honestly don't plan to purchase all that equipment. It's real expensive and time consuming, something that I just don't have the means to do right now. It's because the wood isn't stabilized. It just wanted to like tear out. It just ripped out, and you know, the resin obviously is cutting totally different than the wood. So, but at this stage, I'm just trying to shape the bottom and get some sort of, some closest to balanced, I guess, as I could have gotten it. It stayed out of balance the whole time, and it never balanced out. It would just change. It wouldn't get better. It just was different. So, throughout the process, I'd turn up the speed, slow down the speed, and just try to find that happy medium to where I wasn't struggling to keep the tool on the project. It's just continually bouncing, and my arms were definitely sore after the turning process of this project. You have to just, you know, hold on for dear life, kind of. Using the parting tool, it seemed like it helped a lot better to establish my rem, just to find out where the lowest point was at. So as I'm shaping this, I can connect A and B together and decide how I wanted to really shape the bottom, because the bottom is going to determine how I can shape the inside. This Burl had a ton of pits and holes and crevices and nooks and crannies and all of that. So what I chose to do, instead of spending several days on just filling multiple holes, is I decided to fill the real deep ones, and then I would just coat with resin with several coats the remainder ones, and kind of leave that textured surface I should say, in the final piece. After that cured, I applied a layer of penetrating epoxy resin to the whole piece to stiffen up those fibers. That burl's very dry and it's just ripping out because of how I'm having, the tools I'm having to use in order to cut it, and it's not stabilized. If you start out with a stabilized burl, you be able to skip multiple steps that I'm using here. But this penetrating resin really helps soak in really deep, and I just wanted it to be easier to sand a flat surface. I could have possibly gone over it with a scraper, a really light scrape, but I didn't want to risk ripping more out and having to apply this again and then waiting another 24 hours. And if y'all noticed, I got some background noise in there for you. Now for your final coat, you don't want to use a ton of resin. This is with the pumps that come with the fast set. It's only 2 squirts, and I mean that is plenty enough to get a nice smooth finish. You don't want too much on there because it will start to sag no matter how slow or fast you spin it. I felt like I spent more time getting the resin strings off the camera. No matter where I put it or placed it, it seemed like that resin just wanted to jump on that camera no matter where it was at. I spent more time getting resin off the camera than I did turning, it felt like. This mess is just halfway through. It's not even it's not even finished yet. I think I took out 2 large garbage bags of resin and debris. It was everywhere, and it took me a good hour or so to clean up and get it dust free enough to where I can actually put a resin coat on it when I was done. So yeah, messy. Big surprise, more holes to fill. And this side I actually had more of the bug poo, the bug leftovers from them going through the wood and eating it. So I didn't have that much on the back side, but this side I did. So I just kind of dug it out as much as I could, anything that was really loose and powdery, and went ahead and filled it. I found that using a spatula I got from the Dollar Tree, it's just a El Cheapo silicone spatula, really helps to keep that resin smoothed onto the surface, I guess, and keep, you know, any of the extra resin raked into your holes instead of you having so much waste. And what I did is I kept the heater really close to me, and as the resin got warmer and started to cure, I kept moving the resin into the holes that were kind of like wanting to sag out, and that seemed to work pretty good, so I didn't have to do this multiple times. Even though I'm going to be coating this with resin, and the resin really hides the scratches really nicely, I always at least sand up to 400 or 600 depending on what I'm doing in the wood, because the resin will hide the scratches in the resin really well, but it doesn't do the same as well for the wood. I get all my brushes that I use at the Dollar Tree. I throw them out after each use because they're so cheap. They just fall apart if I try to clean them anyway. I don't put links because you have to, if you order it from DollarTree.com, you have to buy the cases at a time, and the shipping is honestly as much as buying a case of brushes. So it's just worth going up to the store, and I buy $20 worth of brushes at a time. These come 3 in a pack, so I get 3 different sizes in one pack. So for 3 brushes, I get them for $1. And as cheap as they are, it's less expensive for me just to toss them out than using more chemicals, which cost more money to clean them off, just to have them fall apart on other projects. So I get asked that quite a bit, and I just wanted to give you that information. If you wanted to reuse your brushes, you could use acetone, denatured alcohol. Someone had commented saying that you can use vinegar. On the back of the bottle, I think it says you can use soap and water and acetone. So I guess it all depends on your brush and yeah, and the resin you're using. So keep that in mind. I get my maker coins made by Bob Cook, laser art by Cook. You can find him on Facebook. He also has a website, laserartbycook.com, and his email and phone number is on the screen right now. So yay, finally got it done. Oh my gosh, 3 months or more actually of pouring, turning, coating, 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 and more coating with this project. It is refreshing to finally, regardless to all the imperfections in it, to say that I finished. I accomplished what it was I had in my mind. Maybe not to the very T, you know, but that's okay. It's somewhere close to what I envisioned it to be, and I'm happy for that. I did it with the best of my ability. I gave it my all, and that's what matters. So there are spots that I'm just kind of about, so let me just complain about it and get that out of the way. When I coated it with resin, there's some spots that just wanted to separate for whatever reason. I don't know if it was because of the moisture, the cold, I don't know. So there are a few spots in here where it's kind of textured. You can see the brush marks, I guess you can say. And then there's one on the back right here. You can kind of see it, where the resin just wanted to dip out on me, I guess. But overall, I mean, considering how large this project was for me and time consuming especially, and I'm a very impatient, I like to do projects that I can get done fairly quickly because I don't have much time between homeschooling the kids and all of that to, you know, do these extensive projects and get the video edited and get it put out there, you know, in a decent time frame. This is definitely a big jump for me anyway. I just want to encourage y'all that I didn't go at this thinking I knew how it was going to turn out. I didn't go at this knowing that it was going to be fantastic in any sense. I mean, every step was, I hope this works out. So, you know, it's part of the creative process. There's a lot of learning in every single step, and don't be afraid to do that, because if you don't, then you'll never know. You'll never know if you could have screwed it up. You might say, oh, I'll screw it up. Well, if you don't try, you're never gonna know. And even if you do screw it up, you learned what not to do for the next time. Just keep creating and give yourself some grace to learn. So it ends up being 16 3/4 inches, and it's heavy. It's really heavy. I wanted to keep the thickness, to keep the depth, so it's heavy. Bob Cook sent me these. I'll put the link in the description below for his. I had to alter it. It was round, and I just took off the top and bottom so it would fit right here in this wood, and that way it wouldn't be visible through the back. Anyways, I thank you so much for watching. I pray y'all have a wonderful weekend. Take care and God bless.